Thank you all for attending. Again, my name is Dustin Sikiak with One Source Associates. I have Jesse Friedman up here with me as well. He will be helping out with the presentation today, as he has for last couple weeks. We also have a few other people from One Source Associates on here. We have Todd Kolker, and we also have Mr. Bill Tucker as well. So if I mess up, skip a beat, they will be more than willing to jump in and help me out with that. But so today, let's switch over to the slide. We are talking about Lutron and the smart home. Lutron Smart Home. Here we go. So as you know, Lutron Smart Home isn't just the Caseta line. There's also several other different tiers. There's a Ra2 Select, Radio Ra2, and the HomeWorks. And so you ask, what does your customer want when they ask for a smart home? So what they're looking for, they want to have a nice family dinner where they can set the mood, set the scene. They want to be able to use voice control to control their lights and their shades, and use that smart speaker that they have in the house. Of course, save energy, by dimming everything. And of course, they want to show off to their friends and just have cool stuff in their house. But then, what does a pro want to get out of a smart home system? And what they really want is no risk to them, and they want to have a happy customer. And you can see here the six aspects. They definitely want something dependable, something flexible that they can customize to each of their customer, something they can be familiar with, great performance, and something that'll make them money in the long run. So now I'm going to ask Jesse to jump on here, and he's going to help me go through a couple different sections of the house and see what kind of options we can offer to
scenarios for smart home, ways for the contractors to talk about it with their customers, right? Different gateways into the home. Go ahead and hit the first one, Dustin. So the first thing is the exterior, right? So you can somebody can simply say to the customers, hey, do you want your lights to be on when you come home, or come on when you get home? It's a safety thing. It's a convenience thing. It's a it makes everybody feel better. So one simple on-off switch, the bridge, the app, and boom, now your customer can geofence their house so the lights come on when they come home. They can set a schedule based around an astronomical clock, so they come on at sunset or whatever. Works really great. The living room, sometimes you need your living room bright, you're cleaning, you're looking for something, you lost the remote and the cushions. Other times you're watching a movie and you want to set the mood properly. So you can do it all without getting up, right? If you have that bridge, you maybe have a lamp dimmer, an in-wall dimmer, and a Pico remote or two throughout the space. You can use the Pico remote to change the lighting. You can use your cell phone through the Lutron app, or you can use one of your voice assistants like Alexa, Siri, Google, whatever. And the kitchen dining room package, right? So when you're cooking dinner, you want it to be nice and bright while you're doing all that task. You need all the lighting. You're cutting vegetables, doing whatever. And then when you go over to dining, obviously you don't need it to be as bright. You want to set the mood. Maybe you're having date night with your significant other, right? So again, dimmer in the wall compared with that app, and you can have, in my house, actually, I say, hey, Alexa, dinner time, and the kitchen dims down and the dining room brightens up and the TV turns off and all that stuff. And so we can control the lights with the Lutron to help bring the family together to eat dinner together and make it a much nicer space. So we've got our two systems with which Dustin mentioned. Hopefully everybody's at least a little bit familiar, right? We have Caseta, which is more of our mass market, I don't want to say entry level, but it is our more affordable system. Supports up to 75 devices now, up from 50 previously. Uses those Caseta specific dimmers, that Caseta bridge, and the Lutron app. Works with shades, and there's a couple of products which we're going to show you in just a second. Ra2 Select is a little bit upmarket from really similar uses, a little bit nicer to look at, slightly more strength in its app. There's just a few more things it can do. But again, we can do shades, obviously all the lighting, and we have a huge amount of interconnectability with other smart home and IoT things. So we're going to show you a couple of new products in these two families right here. First, we've got the Maestro LED Plus dimmer for Ra2 and Ra Select. So hopefully everybody has seen the Maestro LED Plus Pro, which is our new kind of Swiss Army knife dimmer, does it all. This is basically the same thing for the Ra2 and Ra2 Select, Radio Ra2 and Ra2 Select families. Single pole or multi-location, optional neutral. It will do LED, ELV, MLV, halogen, or incandescent, adjustable high and low trim, and it will swap the front plastics for different colors. So it is that Swiss Army knife for your smart home integration. It really will do anything you need to do. In Caseta, we've got a couple new products. We've brought a wireless sensor into it. So it looks just like our commercial wireless sensors, but it's cheaper and can only be used in Caseta system, put anywhere, and it will talk back to that Caseta dimmer or Caseta on-off switch to tell you to turn the lights on, just like we all know motion sensors do in commercial applications, right? Just like our commercial stuff, and just like our Picos, it's got that 10-year battery life, and it will go anywhere. And you see the stuff on the right-hand side, 5, 15, 30-minute timeout selections. It'll cover just over 1,000 square foot for minor motion, excuse me. And it has a 180-degree field of view. So if you mount it on a wall, we'll see everything in 180 degrees in front of it. Next, we have our new wireless repeater for Caseta. So one of the shortcomings of smart home Caseta systems was kind of a sprawling ranch. You know, if you have a tall 3-story townhouse, it works really well. But as that footprint grows, sometimes we had some issues with our range. So we've now introduced this Caseta wireless repeater, which will give you an additional 30 foot of range in any direction. Doesn't require anything except to be plugged into the wall and added into the app, and it will expand that. So when you've got that kind of sprawling home, we can still use Caseta, where before sometimes we had to step up to a different system. And in the app, Lutron has made some adjustments. The biggest thing being Smart Away feature, which is a feature that you can select. So when you are not home at a preset time, the lights can come on. The lights of your choosing throughout your home can come on, so it looks like you're home. You can do this for, if you don't come home at the same time, or you've got some people use these smart homes in a vacation home setting or whatever it is. You're on vacation. You don't want people to know you're gone. It's an automatic way to turn lights on and off throughout the house on a schedule that you set. And they've just made some updates to it. It wasn't quite as smooth as it should have been, and it works a lot better now. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Jesse. And also with the Lutron app for pros, they've made a couple updates as well. Now they can also use it to program the Ra2 Select and Homeworks all in one app. There's My Lutron integration, so you can log those calls that you're making. I just muted myself. Hopefully you guys heard some of that. There's also another little video that goes with this. So it shows you the pro dashboard. You can sign into your My Lutron account. You can create an account for a customer, and then you can tie everything together. So now the contractor doesn't need to physically get into the customer's system. They can do it remotely and make sure everything's working fine, and just kind of dump it onto the customer so that their security is not at risk. Big thing that we try to push, of course, Caseta system can work without the bridge. It can just work with the radio frequency, with your Pico remote that you have. But why should a contractor want to have the bridge? Well, it's less work. You don't need to program every single device. It's just to push the button and you can link everything together on the app. It's reliable. You're not going to have any crosstalk, through, multiple devices trying to talk to your router. You have like Jesse mentioned, with all those products, you have a ton of products that can talk to the hub, and the Pico is a great addition that you don't really see in too many other lines. Then we have the speed, with just having one hub talking to or one bridge talking to your router, you're not going to have 50 different light switches and stuff trying to talk to your Wi-Fi router. So, it used to be said that, Wi-Fi router can take as many devices as you can throw at it. Well, that's not the truth. These numbers that you see here are all coming from, the router manufacturers themselves. If you have, 20 different smart lights in your house, and, you have every single smart switch in your house that's talking to your router, that's just going to jam up and slow everything down, because you already have your smart speaker on there. You already have your smart TV talking to your router. You already have all the laptops and your tablets and your cell phones and everything else in your house. So, it's good for the customer to think about what they're having communicate to the router to, save speed and reliability. And who's buying Caseta nowadays? Well, you have your midlife Gen Xers, your 40 to 54-year-olds, and then you have your mature millennials, these people that are well out of college or making their careers, and, they're starting to, start families and, save up some money or, make a good salary. So, these are all those people that are making over 100K a year, probably not in, hopefully they're still making that in the COVID era. But, like I said, they're all getting married. They all have kids and pets. And everybody has a smart speaker, probably a thermostat. And, nowadays it's unlikely that someone doesn't have a smart doorbell or smart lock going onto their house as well. So, a couple customer questions you might have, or someone might ask you, why do I want smart lighting? Well, you want smart lighting because so you can set up scenes, you can set up schedules, you can do smart away. It's a added security benefit to the system, and it's cool to have. And then why smart switches? So for the first time in our trainings, we're going to play a video, and let me make sure that I have. If you can't hear the volume, the video, someone please jump on here and just let me know, and I'll stop it and reset it.
No audio, Dustin.
Nope, no audio. Okay.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Give me 1 second. Let me just jump out of this and get back into it a different way. All right, here we go.
But there's a better option. Smart dimmer switches from Caseta by Lutron. Have you ever noticed how many bulbs are in your house? Imagine having to buy new smart bulbs to replace all of them. That can get really expensive. Why do that when you can make your regular bulbs smart? That's what Caseta does by putting the brains in the switch where you've always controlled your lights. And since one switch can control a lot of bulbs, buying smart switches instead of smart bulbs can save you a lot of money. Here's something else. If someone flips off the power to the smart bulb at the switch, it's no longer smart. But Caseta is always ready to go, even when the switch is off. And Caseta gives you more choices for controlling your lights at the switch, in the app, with your voice, or with the smart remote. And more options also means that anyone in the house can control the lights. You get all this control with just 15 minutes of installation, and your home gets a more permanent smart lighting solution. When you're looking for smart lighting, make the smarter choice. Caseta by Lutron.
Thanks, Lutron. That's a pretty nice video. Nope, we're going to the next one. We're done with you. All right. So yeah, that's a great video. And now that I'm realizing that, Jesse, if we continue to play videos like that, they're going to have no need for us to put on these presentations. So that might be the last video we show in one of our trainings.
They don't say in the video like you and I do, so it's not as interesting.
Exactly. They can't fake the realism. But why should a customer choose Caseta? The most connected. You have, again, the power of the Pico, which even when your Wi-Fi, if your Wi-Fi goes out in a thunderstorm or something like that, you still have that controllability of your system with the radio frequency of Pico. You have the advantage of that single hub, that single point of communication with your Wi-Fi router, and no crosstalk. Works with your existing wiring. They have multiple different setups for the Caseta switches, neutral optional. They have the fan Casetas. You have multiple different products that all work together, and then you have your LED plus technology, so that the switches that are just going to be able to talk to any type of bulb that you might, or lamp that you might have in your fixtures. And again, the number one reason is that power of the Pico. Every year we come to you guys and say, hey, we need to get some pros. We need to set these pro trainings. And this year what we really want to look at is making sure that we're choosing the right pros to go after. And we also want to make sure that those pros that we are going after are engaged and that they know about the new products and they understand the power of the Caseta system. So with that, the pros do have a bunch of, there's a number of ways to reach out to the pros and for them to stay engaged with the products. And, this is important to let them know that, if they're not aware of the new products coming out, there's tons of videos online. They should be receiving, updates and, text messages and emails from Lutron telling about new products. But we all need to make sure that we're getting out there and staying in touch with these guys. And get into that training material and make sure that they're getting their discounts or promotions that they see that are out there. So with a takeaway from the Caseta system or the smart home, the smart home's here. People want it. Definitely in this COVID time, it's we're looking for ways so that people don't have to touch so many things. And definitely with a smart speaker, something like a Pico. That's or a cell phone, it's easy for someone to control and they don't have to touch something that everyone else is touching. It's a really nice addition to a home, and and it's smart, it's cool, it's something to keep people engaged during these times. But yeah, so that is what we have for our Lutron smart home. Dustin,
let me jump in here real quick.
Yes, sir.
It occurred to me when we went over this presentation earlier, it didn't occur to me, and it occurred to me now. We talked about the systems. We kind of assume everybody knows a little bit about Caseta and Ra2 Select, and we talked about the new things. But hopefully everybody understands what a Lutron Pro is. Lutron Pro is a contractor that attends one of our Lutron Pro trainings that we put on in conjunction with our distributor partners like you guys at Capital. And it gives them access to all these little special things that Dustin was showing. But Lutron Pros are... like I said, they're specifically trained contractors, and all they need to do to become specifically trained is attend these events that we've put on in the past, and we'll put on again once we're allowed to.
And we are trying to, if you have customers that want to become pros, we are trying to put on virtual pro trainings. So that is something that we are geared up and ready to do. We just need to find those customers that are that want to sit down, and we'll do it after hours, and we can figure out a way to, arrange for like meals at people's houses or get them vouchers, because that's a big thing with the pro training is that, we would take guys out for, drinks and some food. But of course we can't do that right now. So any ideas, we're open ear to hearing those. But does anybody have any questions about any of the products that they saw about, pro trainings, anything of that sort?
I think you have everybody muted, Dustin.
Do I? Somebody else, 1 second. Dismiss. I don't believe so.
Okay. Apologies then.